Alright, so who would be the most shocking to see be revealed as a traitor? Some of these are pretty shocking, but there's only one that I think would melt my brain. Could you imagine if Shanks, the person who arguably started the show, turned out to be a villain in the end? Even though Shanks is an important character, we don't get to see him too often, so we have no idea what he's been up to behind the scenes. And it's been shown that he has enough influence to even meet with the 5 elders of the world government. Just think about it, what if Shanks had been working with them the whole entire time? What if it was revealed that Shanks secretly never wanted anyone to find the One Piece? And right when Luffy is right there, boom, Shanks is there to stop him. And the final fight isn't against Blackbeard, it isn't against Sakazuki, but it's against the person who put you on this journey to begin with. I genuinely don't want that to happen, but hey, out of all these choices, Shanks would hurt the most. That shit would break the internet for the wrong reasons. If Naruto dies, who would it hit the hardest? Everyone here will be heartbroken in their own way, but who I think would be most affected would be Iruka. Y'all gotta remember, Iruka was the first person shown to treat Naruto like a human being instead of a monster. Not only did he risk his life to protect him, he also said the words that Naruto truly needed to hear. That he was not the demon fox. He was Naruto Uzumaki of the village hidden in the leaves. All the time they spent together at Ichiraku's, Iruka truly was Naruto's father. It still hits me now when Naruto asked Iruka to be his father during his wedding with Hinata. I still remember a quote Catelyn Stark from Game of Thrones said in the Game of Thrones history and lore video.
The grief and rage of losing a child could burn down the world.
Losing someone you consider your son would be one of the worst, horrible things you could ever go through. Iruka would be absolutely devastated. Everyone would be hurt, but Iruka takes the cake from it. Alright, if these characters had their own manga/anime, who's getting the most sales? Personal preference, I would have went with either L or All Might, but it's Roger. His show would make sales just off the One Piece name alone. Even though we know how Roger's story ends, there's still a lot of crazy adventures we could see leading up to that. I'd love to see some of Roger's adventures right after he recruited Rayleigh. The Roger Pirates were active for literal decades. That means we could get another 1,000 plus episode show. Do you know how emotional it would be him coming across Shanks for the first time? Possibly seeing his backstory too. Also, I want to see how he met Buggy, cause I know that would be hilarious. And just imagine the fights we'll get to see. Roger versus Whitebeard. Roger versus Gart, Roger and Gart versus Zebek. The things they did were stuffs of legend. Could you imagine actually getting to see it? Every character here would get sales, but Roger is definitely the king. Alright, so who received the worst tough love? That's cute if you think what happened to Marco was any type of love at all. Let's just break down what happened to this man. Let's see, Omni-Man told him that he's going to have to enslave his home planet to an empire he knows nothing about, called his mom a pet, killed someone in front of him that he just saved 10 seconds before, launched him miles into a city causing him to kill probably hundreds of people, once again telling him that his mom ain't shit, took him down to the subway where we all know what happened. Taunting him the whole time, telling him how meaningless human lives are, then proceed to give him one of the worst beatdowns I've ever seen in my life. His face was just a pile of mush afterwards, and I don't care if Omni-Man felt bad afterwards, the damage was done. Nothing in that situation was love. Omni-Man tried to mentally and physically abuse Mark to get him to submit to his will. This was the worst. Bro, when I saw this, I was like, damn right Levi don't fuck with Annie. Now, I understand why everyone else forgave Annie because they were former comrades, and at this point in the story, they've all done horrible things. And Hanji probably forgave her because she got to experiment on her crystal. But Levi's reaction was perfect. Annie and Levi never knew each other, and Annie is the one who systematically killed Levi's entire squad brutally. And even the other people she killed, Levi probably knew. Petra's dad talking to Levi while he was waiting for her is still one of the saddest moments in Attack on Titan. Like, look at Levi's face. And I don't think Annie showed any true remorse for her actions either. So from Levi's perspective, fuck Annie. Alright, who would I intern with if I inherited One for All? Now, Batman is my favorite hero, But man, I ain't trying to go to Gotham. I feel like every day would be on 10 because one of his rogues is out there doing something stupid. And I am not dealing with the Joker. That man on broke heroes far more powerful than I could ever be. Plus, Batman has this my way or the highway mentality that caused splinters in his own group. I'm good. Iron Man would be cool because Tony probably would make me a suit to help me withstand One For All's power. Plus, us drunken Iron Man suits would be hilarious. But to me, Tony isn't really the mentoring type. It will be fun, but I feel like I wouldn't gain as much with him. But with Spider-Man, our abilities have some similarities to them, so he'd be able to understand and help me in that department. Plus, it would be so cool to swing around New York City with Peter. Like, look at the chemistry that Peter and Miles has in the games. That could be me. And with everything Peter went through in the MCU, you already know I'm going to get up with great power comes great responsibility speech. That would motivate me to use my powers for good. So Spider-Man all the way. Alright, toughest occupation in anime. I almost agree with the Survey Corps until I looked to the right and saw Demon Slayer. Bro, being a Demon Slayer has got to be the worst job ever. Like, real shit, is there a Demon Slayer over the age of 30? The answer is no, because they can't even make it past 25. Just to become a Demon Slayer, you have to spend 7 nights in a demon-infested forest praying that you make it out. Don't get me wrong, Titans are terrifying, but unless you're dealing with a Titan shifter or abnormal, you at least have a small chance of beating it. They can send you to go take out a demon and that demon turns out to be Kokoshibo. What you gonna do then? The worst part is the one way to kill a demon sometimes doesn't even work. And remember, some of these demons have superpowers. All you have is a sword and fancy breathing. And no plot armor. You are dead. So yeah, Demon Slayer can get in the trash. Alright, what video game moment had me like this? Now, I've been hurt by plenty of video games, but nothing quite hit the same as the ending to Red Dead 1. You're on this 20+ hour journey with John Marston. The government kidnaps John's family and forces him to hunt down his former gang members in exchange for their return. You go on this long, sometimes beautiful, sometimes bullshit journey that takes you all the way to Mexico and back, but after everything, all the ups, all the downs, you finally succeed and you get your family back. Afterward, you're spending time with them, you're working on your ranch, everything just seems perfect. And just when everything seemed to be okay, you get betrayed by the people who forced you into that journey in the first place. In that last scene where they give you dead eyes, so you're thinking that maybe John can get out of this. But then yeah, the ending to this game made me lose joy in things for a couple days. Alright, who has the best death stare shown here? For me, it's Mikasa by a long shot. This happened during season 2 of Attack on Titan, right after the Reiner and Bertolt reveal. Not only that, they also kidnapped Eren, so everyone's emotions was already on 10. And we all know that Eren is the reason why Mikasa wakes up in the morning, so she was ready to catch a body. And she was ready to strike Bertolt down with the fury of 1,000 suns. If Reiner didn't save him, it would have been a fatality. And the stare put the fear of God in that man. She wasn't even looking at him, she was looking at his soul. I would have been shitting bricks too. So yeah, Mikasa got it for me.